The trade conflict between Canada and the United States has reached a critical point, threatening to reshape North American economics. What began as targeted tariffs during the Trump administration has evolved into a trade confrontation, with Canada's proposed 100% tariff on Tesla vehicles impacting the automotive industry. This move by Canada indicates a shift in North American trade dynamics, particularly in the electric vehicle sector, where Tesla holds 70% market share in the United States. The tariff would increase Tesla prices in Canada by $5,000 or more, potentially pushing Canadian consumers toward European manufacturers. This is a response that could alter the competitive landscape in North America's automotive sector, says Dr. Marcus Henderson from Global Trade Analytics. We're seeing a strategic pivot benefiting European automakers. The implications go beyond Tesla. The tariff shows Canada diversifying trade away from US dependence. European automakers, especially from Germany and France, could gain significant market share in Canada under these tariffs. Analysts predict this could trigger effects across other sectors. The automotive industry, a strong bond between the US and Canada, faces uncertainty. With billions in cars and materials exchanged annually, the impact could affect North American supply chains. This isn't just about cars, says Jennifer Martinez, automotive analyst. It's about Canada asserting trade sovereignty and willingness to work with other global partners. The proposal comes amid global trade tensions and shifting alliances, as nations reassess economic partnerships. The move could accelerate regional trade bloc formation and reshape the global automotive industry's landscape. For Tesla and American automakers, the challenge is adapting while maintaining market position in a complex trade environment. Breaking news: Canada's bold trade retaliation against US could reshape North American auto industry. In a dramatic escalation of trade tensions, Canada's proposed 100% tariff on Tesla vehicles signals a significant shift in North American economic relations. This move could severely impact the integrated auto manufacturing sector and represents a calculated strategy to reshape continental trade dynamics. Industry experts warn of catastrophic effects on the North American automotive sector, which produces over 2 million vehicles annually in Canada. We're looking at potential factory shutdowns, massive job losses, and severe disruption to supply chains, says Dr. Sarah Henderson, chief economist at Global Trade Analytics. The impact could be particularly severe for Tesla, with projections suggesting significant stock value decline. This development has investors concerned about the broader electric vehicle market, potentially slowing investments in sustainable transportation. With an $800 billion annual trade relationship at stake, Canadian officials are actively diversifying their international partnerships. New trade agreements with the European Union, Indonesia, and Ecuador suggest a pivot away from US dependence. Canada is playing a long game here, explains Trade Minister James Wilson. While maintaining strong ties with our American partners remains important, we're building resilience through diversification. The move has triggered responses in other sectors, with US steel, aluminum, and agricultural products facing retaliatory tariffs. American farmers could face significant challenges as Canada explores alternative supply chains. Market analysts suggest this could mark a historic shift in North American trade relations. As Canada strengthens ties with emerging markets and established economies, the traditional dynamics of North American trade appear increasingly uncertain. For US manufacturers and exporters, the message is clear. Canada is prepared to leverage its market power to protect its interests, even at the cost of disrupting long-standing trade relationships. In a significant shift reshaping global trade dynamics, Canada is actively reducing its economic dependence on the United States through strategic partnerships and market diversification. Our analysis reveals a calculated move that could fundamentally alter North American economic relationships. At the heart of this transformation is a groundbreaking minerals alliance between Canada and the European Union. This partnership focuses on securing critical materials essential for green energy, including lithium, cobalt, and nickel, key components in electric vehicle batteries and renewable energy systems. This isn't just about diversifying trade relationships, it's about securing the future of green technology, says economic analyst James Morrison. Canada is positioning itself as a crucial player in the global supply chain, challenging both Chinese dominance and US influence. trade between Canada and the EU reached $100 billion in 2021, marking a historic milestone. This surge comes as Canada reduces its traditional reliance on US markets, a dependency that has defined North American trade for generations. As US protectionist policies strain bilateral relations, Canada's European partnerships are flourishing under the Comprehensive Economic and Trade Agreement, CETA. This agreement has opened new avenues for Canadian businesses, particularly in technology and energy sectors. The Minerals Alliance represents more than economic cooperation. It's a calculated move to establish a supply chain independent of Chinese and American influence. This development could significantly impact global energy markets and accelerate the transition to renewable technologies. For US policymakers, this shift presents a warning. America's largest trading partner is building alternatives to US-dependent trade relationships. The implications for US economic influence could be far-reaching. As markets evolve, Canada's strategic repositioning might serve as a blueprint for nations seeking to navigate the complex landscape of international trade relations. Good evening, I'm John Marshall, with breaking news about a crisis affecting America's energy security. Canada, our largest energy supplier, is making moves that could reshape North American energy. For decades, they've been our reliable partner, supplying nearly 97% of their oil to US markets. But that's changing rapidly. New agreements between Canada and Asian powers, particularly Japan and China, signal a shift in global energy dynamics. This isn't just about oil, it's about America's energy independence and security. With Canada diversifying its exports, US consumers might face higher energy costs and increased competition for resources. American farmers are bearing the brunt of this trade conflict. Canadian tariffs on US agricultural products, corn, soybeans, and beef, are creating a crisis in America's heartland. Family farms that have operated for generations now face bankruptcy and foreclosure. These tariffs have opened the door for China and Mexico to increase their agricultural market share, potentially pushing out American farmers. Small family farms are particularly vulnerable, with many facing the prospect of selling to large agribusiness corporations. The energy situation is concerning. Canada provides about 60% of US oil imports, along with substantial natural gas and hydroelectric power. If Canada redirects these energy supplies to other markets, the impact on US energy prices could be severe. Manufacturing industries, which rely on stable energy costs, would face significant challenges. This isn't just another trade dispute, it's a fundamental restructuring of North American economic relationships that could affect everything from grocery bills to heating costs this winter. Stay tuned for our continuing coverage. Back to you in the studio. Breaking news. A seismic shift in global trade dynamics is unfolding as the Canadian-American trade war intensifies, threatening to reshape international commerce and energy markets. The stakes have reached unprecedented levels as Canada's strategic pivot away from US dependence sends shockwaves through North American markets. Industry experts warn of potential devastation to US chemical and manufacturing sectors, with facilities facing possible shutdowns due to supply chain disruptions. We're looking at a perfect storm, says trade expert John Marshall. The US could face severe energy shortages as it scrambles to replace Canadian oil, natural gas, and electricity supplies. This isn't just a bilateral issue anymore, it's going global. The ripple effects are being felt worldwide as markets rush to secure energy supplies traditionally sourced from Canadian exports. Ottawa is rapidly expanding trade partnerships with the European Union and Asian economies, potentially leaving American interests behind. Most alarming for US policymakers is Canada's aggressive diversification strategy. By forging new alliances and agreements, our northern neighbor is reducing its dependence on US markets. This mirrors strategies seen in other regions, where economic realignment has led to lasting geopolitical consequences. Canada's bold moves are rewriting the rules of North American trade, explains economic professor Sarah Chen. They're actively reshaping supply chains and energy partnerships that have existed for decades. The critical question, can the United States adapt quickly enough to maintain its position as a global trade leader? As traditional allies seek alternative partnerships and emerging economies gain influence, America's economic dominance faces unprecedented challenges. This situation continues to develop, with implications for consumer prices and international